You decide to decorate a shoebox to store your keepsakes in. The bottom of the shoebox measures 12 inches by 7 inches, and the box is 4 inches tall. Okay, so if I'm imagining a shoebox like this, and the bottom of it is 12 inches by 7 inches, and it's 4 inches tall. How much paper will I need in order to cover the entire box? So to cover the entire box, I'm going to be covering the surfaces of this box. So I'm going to use the formula for surface area. Now, the formula for surface area of a box is one that we need to have memorized. So to find the surface area, I'm going to take the two dimensions at the bottom, length times width, and then I'm going to say that that's the same thing as the top. So I'll just have two of those, one for the bottom and one for the top, plus each side. Now, if this is length and this is width, this side right here is going to be width times height. But I'm going to have two of those too for the left side and the right side of this box. So we'll have two width heights plus, and then we're going to have front and back. So front is length times height, and we'll have two of those for front and back. Okay, so that's the equation to find the area of the surface, or the surface area. So in this case, we've got 2 times 12 times 7 plus 2 times 7 times 4 plus 2 times 12 times 4. I don't have a lot of space right here, so I'm going to do all of that on my calculator. Let me just clear this thing first. Clear. Alright, and we're going to do that all in the calculator. So I'm going to do 2 times 12 times 7 plus 2 times 7 times 4 plus 2 times 12 times 4. 320. Okay, so that's equal to 320. The units on this, since its area will be square inches. So inches square. Okay, so that's my answer for part A. Now for part B. The decorative paper we would like to buy measures 8.5 inches by 11 inches. How many sheets of paper will I have to buy? Well, first of all, let's figure out how big 8.5 by 11 inches is. So we'll want to find that area, and that area being the length times width, so 8.5 times 11. Back to the calculator. 8.5 times 11. 93.5 square inches. Okay, now assuming we want to use every scrap of every piece of paper, so we would like piece it in and, you know, put in little tiny pieces if we want to cover it up. We're not going to be too efficient here. We're going to use we're not going to be too pretty. We're going to use every piece of scrap here. Very efficient. I would need to divide these two to figure out how many times I need to put this area into that area. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to say 320 divided by 93.5. So I need 3.4 sheets. I can't buy 0.4 of a sheet, so I need to buy 4 sheets. Okay. And that's if we're going to, you know, cut them in pieces and use every single inch of the paper we buy. We're going to buy 4 sheets. If you're doing this at your house and you wanted to have just 1 sheet per side, you might say, well, I want to buy 6 sheets so I can cover each piece, but I can do it with 4 sheets if I piece it together. Okay, so let's try the next one. Let's see, we start here with 4 more than the product of 3 and a number is 11. What is the number? The important thing on this one is not just to get the number, but to show the work and write the equation. The equation is very important here. So 4 more than the product, so 4 more than is 4 plus the product of 3 and a number. So the product of 3 and a number is 3x. Is my equals 11. So really important to write that equation, then to show that we're solving that equation to find the number. So to solve it, we're just going to subtract that 4 from both sides. gives me 3x equals 7, I think. Okay. And then divide both sides by 3. So x is, I came out with 7/3. Okay. Now that's not a number I would have been able to guess anyway, so the number is 7/3. So good thing I wrote the equation, because I would not have been able to guess that number. Check out the next one. So the next one, we're going to do 3 subtracted from a number is equal to, so I'm going to stop right there and work just before the equals to. So 3 subtracted from a number is x minus 3, 3 is taken away from that number, is equal to 1 more than twice the number. So I've got twice the number, and I'm going to add 1 to it. So that's 1 more than twice the number. What is the number? So again, writing the equation is a huge first step here. Not going to get credit without having the equation written. Then we're going to just solve it like I would solve any equation to find the number. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. Negative 3 equals x plus 1, and then subtract 1 from both sides to get my x by itself. So in this example, the number is negative 4. I'll write that a little bit sideways. Number is negative 4. I'm not sure what I was starting off writing there, but turn it into an x. Okay, and negative 4. Okay, let's look at the next one. A rectangular field is 3 times as long as it is wide. So what I would do here is first of all think about drawing a rectangular field just to get a visual of what this looks like. I know it's 3 times as long as it is wide. So let's say it's x wide. That means it's 3 times that long. Okay? Now if the perimeter of the field is 400 yards, what are the field's dimensions? Well, to find perimeter, I need to add up all the sides of this figure. So I'm going to add up x right here plus x right there would be 2x. Plus here's 3x, and 3 more x would be another 6x. Is 400. Okay, so it kind of helps me to get this visualization here so that I can get the equation. And so I'm going to combine my like terms. 8x equals 400. And if I divide both sides by 8, I get that x equals, I don't know, 40 divided by 8 is 5, so that would be 50. Okay. Now, I'm not done yet because it actually asks me what are the field's dimensions. And first of all, I want to label what this is. That would be the width of my field. So the width of my field is 50. Make sure you say more than just 50. It's 50 yards. Okay? And I also want to know the length. I know that the length is 3 times x. So I'm going to make myself that note. 3 times x is 3 times 50, or 150. Alright, and then I know that my length is 150 yards. So make sure, again, that when I finish this one, I wasn't done at that point. I needed to state what that meant. That was the width. State it with yards. Same thing for length. I had to find the length after I had found that 50. All right, let's see what we have next. Okay, last problem for the review. We've got in 2010, the wealthiest Americans were Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. At that time, Gates' net worth exceeded Buffett's by $9 million. Okay, combined the two men were worth $99 million. All right, I'm going to try to write below this big warning box right here. So what I would start with is a statement about each of those men. So we'll talk about Gates, and we'll talk about Buffett. Oops, Buffett. Okay. All right. So in 2010, the wealthiest Americans were Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Nothing interesting in that sentence. At that time, Gates' net worth exceeded that of Buffett's by $9 million. So that tells me that if I knew what Buffett's worth was, I'm going to call it B. Gates' worth was that plus 9. That helps me figure out what the variable should be. The variable should be Buffett because I wasn't told anything about Buffett. That's the unknown. But I know something about Gates. I had to have Gates's variable, so I could say that it was that variable plus 9 to give me Gates's wealth. Okay, so let's finish out the equation right here. Combined, that's going to mean added together, the two men's worth were 99 billion. So we'll do Gates, B plus 9, plus Buffett, B equals 99 million. Okay, so combine our like terms, 2B plus 9 equals 99. If I subtract 9 from both sides, I get 2B equals 90. And then just divide that 2 off. And I know that B is going to be 90 divided by 2, which is 45. Okay, back to what does that mean? That means that Buffett, his net worth is, now it's probably not $45. Richest man in the U.S., $45 does not make sense. So I go back up and look for my units. $45 billion in 2010. So we're going to put our units on here, dollars, and we're going to say his net worth is $45 billion. Alright, and then we're going to say the same thing. Gates, in 2010, his net worth is, so 45 plus 9 would make that 54 billion. Right, and then that's my final answer on this one. So again, just like the other ones, in this one it's really important to show the statement of the two men's with salaries with their variables. And it's also really important that we get this equation right here and that we solve the equation to get the answer. I'm not looking for the answer in this one, I'm looking for the process.